What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Ash Vibe Show.
Hi.
My name's Malik Harris.
My name is Derek Moore.
My name is Mackie Torticini.
And this is where you come to
Vibe with the Tribe.
Today, we are excited to be jumping into a Necrit video, first of all.
Yes.
But a video about the live-action series that we'll be releasing. For those of you who watched Arcane with us, Season 1, Season 2, you know that this is a very... the world of League in general, you know, even outside of Arcane, we have all of our lore diving stuff, we have our music videos, we have our voice lines that we've been in, just everything, all the cinematics from the seasons, to we watch worlds, all kinds of shit. So we're like, you know, heavily in depth with everything. So for those of you who are new, welcome.
Welcome, and thank you for clicking on this video and watching.
Yeah, if you guys like this content, you guys want to keep watching it afterwards, once you see the vibes and stuff like that, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications about everything we release in the future.
Hell yeah, and if you don't like the video, just go ahead and leave, you know? We ain't gonna keep people here.
It's okay. You know, it's okay.
It is what it is.
But we don't really have too much to say. We're going to actually dive into this video, and we'll see what Necrit is talking about, what kind of updates and stuff that we get with this upcoming series.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be lit.
Exactly.
Yeah, enough of the talking. I want to see it.
How about that action, boss?
Well. It is interesting to see that the same week Riot accidentally teased the next champion, as well as the same week Riot accidentally teased the next season. We also got an indirect confirmation that Riot's live-action League of Legends series is now in production. So,
9 episodes.
let's talk about that. You
Yes.
see, to many of us, this is actually nothing new. We knew that something live action was going on because it was teased in the past. I mean, after Arcane, we talked to Christian Ling, who pretty much confirmed that there's a lot of other stuff happening, including both.
Did you guys didn't see this, did you? I'm pretty sure I watched this like myself.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay, yeah, they're talking about it in Discord, but basically, Necrit got to sit down with them, and they just talked about like all the things going to the future. He talked about doing 3 new shows. He talked about a bunch of random different things.
Yeah.
Kind of gave out a lot of answers regarding this show, or not really. He kept it secretive so people can enjoy it. But you see, it's like a fucking 2-hour stream. Yeah, so it was just like debunking a lot of things and talking about just the history of things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If there's anything that pertains to this, I'll pause it and fill you guys in.
Both animation and live action stuff. Or specifically, he mentioned that there are other forms of media going on. But we knew he was talking about live action because before that, in the August of last year, we made an entire video on this topic. The first clue that something is going on came from the yearly Riot update. There, among them confirming that they are working on new games still, they also mentioned that they are working on new series, and they specifically mentioned TV, where TV is usually used for movies. And in the organizational letter, where Riot just told us how Riot is being reorganized, we learned that Brian Wright is now the head of the Riot TV and Film Development Studio. Which means Riot was pretty much dedicated on making movies too. On top of this, 2 new job listings popped up. Riot was now looking for the global head of live-action film, as well as the head of the live-action global TV. The difference between these is that one is likely series and the other one is movies. Regardless, from all of this, we always knew that something was going on, but we didn't know exactly what. Well, now it is finally confirmed that it is something that's live action, which strikes fear into the heart.
Set in Billwater region for anything. Oh, that led The Last of Us. Nice. Oh, Vietnam.
Has explosive Asian countries eventually planning to shoot a 9 episode. Nice.
Okay, so yeah, they'll be running
Of all gamers. Because seeing something good that is live action and based on video games is rare. But alas, a new piece of information about this dropped only last week.
Yes.
And funnily enough,
Fallout
it dropped among the chaos of teasing stuff. But this time, the leak came from Facebook. Who would have expected that? And the leaks came directly from the Vietnamese government. Who would have expected that? So, a short story still short. The official page for the Vietnamese government posted that the government is now teaming up with Riot Games. And they will let them hang around Cut Ba.
HBO.
At first, I assume the reason why they posted this is likely because they just wanted to let the locals know that Hollywood would now be marching around. But apparently, not only is there probably a better reason why, but also the entire post gave us way too much information. Because apparently, Riot surveyed the islands on March the 12th. And it seems like they are planning on filming something here later in 2025. But only 2 days before all of that, the Minister of Culture, Tourism and Sports met with representatives from Riot. Where one of the people representing Riot was Rose Lamb, who recently became known for being the producer on the live-action adaptation of The Last of Us. Which is good, because even though that series didn't exactly catch the vibe of the games, it is still getting very high ratings all over the place. So,
I thought he was about to trash talk Last of Us. I thought he was about to be like, even though the series wasn't there, I was like, damn, bro, I don't know.
The series was good.
No, the series was good. The game was, everybody liked the game too.
Yeah, different tones for sure, but that's gonna happen.
So far, things are looking good. Regardless, apparently, Rose Lamb surveyed multiple other Asian countries, including Japan, Korea, or Thailand. But ultimately, they landed on Vietnam.
Nah, why he choking her though? That was like low-key kind of crazy.
That's I think one of the characters in the that film, the series of Unfortunate Event.
Oh, so
yeah.
What does that have to do with strangling?
I think that's one of the
scenes.
one of the uncles or one of the relatives that are trying to kill the kids because they get the fortune.
Oh, fuck, I don't
know.
Okay.
That?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just thinking deeper than that. I'm just wondering why he's choking this poor lady. I don't even know about the series and nothing like that.
I ain't never seen it.
I was just like, this ain't on
sick.
set. That's on the red carpet. So I'm just like, that's wild. It seems like it caught me off guard.
sick.
Man's not well.
I'm sorry.
Did this man say Thailand? I just want to double check. I think that's what I heard.
And Korea or Thailand. But
didn't say
ultimately,
Thailand.
they
That's
landed
wild.
on Vietnam. And that is because
Thailand or
apparently
Thailand?
this is
Are
the
you
place that
pointing at
best
his
suits
misconception
their
of English?
creative needs. And again,
I'm pointing at the fact that we just got to watching Marvel Rivals content. I just
Oh,
watched Emma
yeah.
Snow walk across the screen, and this man just said Thailand, and it's just, that's, you know what I mean?
I
For
got
me,
you
that's
now.
just, yeah, I'm like, damn, I love thighs too, but yeah. But I understand THAISU. English is dumb.
Again, the specific location mentioned is Cat Ba. After which, the post mentions what is likely the real reason why the government had to post this. Apparently, Vietnam has very strict environmental laws. And they mention, and I quote, that Vietnam will not trade the environment for economic benefits. So in reality, it is
I understand
possible that they are posting this because they want to let people know that something bad might be happening here, but they got it under control. Now, in case you are wondering about the credibility of all of this, it was confirmed to be real, not because it is the official page for the Vietnamese government. I mean, it is Facebook, anything is possible there, but because official Riot accounts replied to it. Which takes us to the big thing everyone
Right,
is
the
talking
fist
about.
bump.
Right.
Just what exactly will Riot be filming here? Well, first of all, it was confirmed that this will be a 9-episode series, not a movie. This is good because on average, if an episode has 30 to 40 minutes, we are getting entertainment equal to 3 movies. But also, people started speculating about the location. Now, if we go back to my interview with Christian Link, he confirmed that pretty much every one of the bigger stories people love in this universe is being worked on in one way or another. Meaning there is the likelihood that something is happening with the Demacian story. Maybe something is happening with Ionia and the invasion. Maybe something is happening with Shurima. And so no matter what location you name, it is possible that any of these could be happening here. But given the specific location of Cat Ba, people started theorizing Ionia, Bilgewater, or the Shadow Isles. So of course I whipped up Google, I looked at the location and realized
That's true.
that's Bilgewater, alright. Now, I absolutely
for sure
understand
look like
why they
Bilgewater.
picked this location. Because truth be told, this looks gorgeous.
You could do
And
some
I'll have to be
Shadow
honest,
Isle
it
stuff,
does
though.
look like Bilgewater the most. Specifically, in the Ruined King game, we could explore the Buru Islands as well as the Windrake Islands.
This
and
is-
both of these definitely fit the vibe. But also, yes, with the right setup,
Pause it.
this could be turned into Hellia. So we could
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was about to say, it could look like, if they had a little snow back there, like Failure.
Yeah, they would just do that in snow place, though,
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
Like, there's just better locations.
It's just like, it looked like it got the little handprint, you know what I'm saying? Like as if you swipe
Oh,
it, you know
because
what
of
I'm saying?
the
shape. Just the shape.
formations.
Though.
I see what you're saying.
Bear.
Yeah. Bear,
Fucking polar bear going crazy. Yeah, I feel like they would shoot that in
a snowy place for sure.
A snowy place, but also just like more like a
rocky terrain.
The same place that they shoot Vice. Yeah, Iceland, or Greenland. Yeah, Vice and Greenland. Yeah, something like that, Viking-esque territory, essentially. You know what I mean? Is what I would think. But yeah, I was gonna say that he kind of started to touch on it as far as like Billwater. When you think about like all the best places they can like really make these games, and I thought about it a lot. Like I would love to see Ionia because I like to see the events that transpire between them because we know that they're starting with Noxus. But I kind of realized like if you do childish. No, if you do Ionia and then you do, let's say, like Demacia or something, because they're all connected, it's like you're almost like keeping yourself to a small territory. Whereas if you do Noxus, you're automatically going to interact with Demacia, with potentially with Ionia, just from focus on that one show. If you do Billwater, like Noxus isn't. They do, I guess. Everyone has ties with everyone, but they're a little bit more distant. You know what I mean? So this is a whole separate thing compared to what's going on in the video game world.
Outlaw
right
City at its finest.
Man, they got to probably find a perfect scene for them to meet up in the middle, just like based off of the map and shit.
And
so like if you got certain actors over here in Hong Kong, and then you got the certain actors over in this place in America, because it looked just like Ionia or some shit like that. You probably gotta,
location-wise, find all the different locations. And what I was going to say, that also the nice thing about what he's saying with Rune King is that's like a culmination of everyone. You have Braum from Freljord, you have Yasui from Ionia, you have Ari from Ionia. You have a little bit of everybody. You have fucking just everyone. You get to see Pike if you're already in that area. You get to see just too many people.
Where do you think they're finna
Misfortune is already there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a nice culmination of all the different islands, in my opinion. Yeah.
Alawi.
Yeah, Alawi. Yeah, she's already there on the docks and shit like that. So yeah.
Not to cut both of y'all off, where y'all think in the comments they would do Shurima at? Egypt.
I don't even know. It's a whole other.
My bad. I just had to throw that in.
They probably would go there to shoot it. I mean, it's in the desert.
It seems like where else are you gonna do it?
I'm just thinking about that big ass statue and shit like that. I'm just like, they gotta.
That'll be definitely all CGI.
See, that's another show. I feel like if they're gonna do another place where they really wanted to like span out, it'd probably be like Shurima or something like that, because then you get all the stuff with the dark and this and that. So, but yeah, we'll touch on this afterwards.
Yeah.
To be dealing with the Shadow Isles story. But there is something that is really throwing me off. As they mentioned before, they did explore a lot of other Asian countries, including Japan, Korea, and Thailand. So it is highly likely that thematically we might be talking about Ionia. Now if this is the case, then there is a really big brain theory going on. Because in Ionia, the biggest story that's told here is the Noxian invasion. And you could definitely use the shores of these isles to set up the shots of the Noxian ships invading Ionia, which is a big reason why this might tease an Ionian story. But if we focus on the aesthetics alone, it still screams Bilgewater. In fact, that's when another big brain theory comes in. Because if we are talking about something that might threaten the environment so much that the government has to come out and tell everyone that yes, they know that something is going on, but everyone should be calm, then sure, we might be talking about them burning forests to set up the invasion of Ionia. But all of that could be faked. The one thing that would be way harder to pull off, unless you really just dive into full CGI, would be building the Bilgewater Bay on one of these islands. Now yes, I'm sure Riot wouldn't have to build an entire replica of the city. But for convincing shots, you would want to have at least a part of it be a physical asset, meaning that you would have to build it on one of these islands. You would also have to put the Butcher's Bridge on one of them, and now we are talking about tampering with the environment on these islands, which would be a really good reason for the government to have all of this under control. Perhaps that might be the strongest argument why we are dealing with the Bilgewater story. But if not, let's be honest, it can be anything. Do you think Demacia doesn't have islands like these? They do, somewhere in the west. Not to mention, one of these islands became the headquarters for the Sentinels. These islands can also be found around Noxus.
Right.
They are also
Kinda
likely
look just
scattered
like
around
it, though.
Argon, or maybe they could be used for the islands just north of Shurima. So to be fair, every region has a chance of getting something.
That's a
But
stretch,
the odds
all that
are
sand
we are
back
likely
there.
dealing with Bilgewater. If not, it could be Ionia because of Japan and Korea, with the Shadow Isles being pretty much attached to Bilgewater. Either way, it was finally
Don't have to do that shit
confirmed
at
that
nighttime,
Riot
though.
is getting live action stuff. Again, we knew about all of this before, but now it's confirmed. And yes, remember that this is still not the only thing that Riot is working on. They now have 2 separate studios, with one focusing on animation and the other one focusing on live action films.
Which is nice.
Or the series, I guess. So even if this specific thing doesn't end up being your favorite region, just know that sooner or later it will probably happen anyway. I'm just in shock that we learned about any of this in the first place, and it didn't come from Riot. It came from the Vietnamese government. On Facebook. Maybe this is teasing that this is a boomer series. Maybe this is Ionia. Thing doesn't end up
Playing mind
being...
games.
Is this little poop emoji down here? Why does it have one reaction and it's just poop? That's discouraging. At a point, I was looking at that for a moment. I was like, huh. All right. Yeah, man. It wasn't like crazy information. Like, I'm surprised we even got any type of information at all.
Yeah.
I think, and it's still like so vast that it's hard to say. But
It's open for
I think it's fun to open up the theories. Yeah, man. Let us know your guys' thoughts on this. Which one of these do you feel like it leans towards the most? Is it Bilgewater? Is it Ionia? Is it like a Shurima or some
It's
other?
for sure not Shariba,
I
bro.
really don't think it is, but hey, I'm not gonna knock your guys' hypotheses. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's gonna be Bilgewater.
I feel like
I think they're just gonna use the islands there, just for like a scene as them passing through. I don't think they're actually gonna set the dock and like start building
all that
onto
stuff
the
too.
in
Yeah,
there,
I was gonna
so.
say I don't think. I'm pretty highly sure we have a little bit more like film industry knowledge than Necrit. I just feel like nowadays, unless you're planning on building a theme park and then utilizing that set for multiple iterations, like they're set on like, hey, you know, Arcane 2 season wasn't enough. We want to plan a 5-season show, and we're gonna set up there. A lot of things are done indoors, and if they're gonna be partnering, if they're gonna be distributing with HBO and all these different things, they have their own studios. But I feel like they have access to things. Like people still utilize other people's lots and things like that. So certain big worlds like this, I don't know if that's a lot of building.
They'll probably
a lot of
take
development.
time to build the shit out there and do a lot of the filming beforehand, like buying like green screen or some shit.
Yeah, and then studios, because in studio you get controlled conditions too, and it's just like, yeah, when you're dealing with production costs and stuff like that, and they're like newer space, especially they're going from animation. This is going to be their first big production.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot. It's kind of like a big gamble.
Finding the characters to fit the role and shit.
Right.
I
You don't
just-
even know if people are fucking with the show, and you're about to go out and build this entire. Yeah, it's just like building the Harry Potter castle in Universal Studios. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then saying like, I hope this takes off. When in reality, Christian Link is the head of like the animation side of things. So the other director is the live action, and most of the time people don't even fuck with live action. So I don't know.
They need to do both. He said that animation and there's gonna be live action, so I hope that the nigga do both. I ain't gonna.
I think
They
he's
are.
gonna have
Christian Link is going to be doing the animation side, and then
That's-
the girl,
that's all I
the
need.
producer from the Last of Us, will do the other side.
That's all I need.
Yeah. What are you gonna-
I was just gonna add on to that. I think he has gonna have some kind of input on like the stories and how it's gonna go and the shots and looks
On the live action side too.
on the live action side.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
But I mean,
don't think so.
if they have the same director producer that's gonna go in and do all these live action that's has experience and just recently done one and is in the middle of doing or finished Last of Us. I mean, it's a good series, so I mean, I have good faith in that person.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's hard though because it's like IPs are so different. You know what I mean? If like what Necrit was just saying about the tone of Last of Us compared to the game, it was different, but it was still up the same alley. Something like Ionia, League of Legends compared to Last of Us, not even the same tone whatsoever. You know, maybe like Warrior from that's on HBO Max. Maybe something of like that lane could fit, but like I feel like once you go from I don't know. Last of Us is very like grounded, whereas this is very supernatural and element. This is very Avatar: The Last Airbender-esque. You know what I'm saying? And you saw how hard that is to pull off, just because of bringing that type of element to life is very challenging. Ionia is a hard place that I would imagine to bring it to life. You know what I mean? So I'm interested. You know what I mean? The nice part is we do have some history in live actions. I feel like we'll have like more insight going into this than animation process. We were learning a lot of new shit. When we watched behind the scenes, we were just like, oh shit, this is, if we watch behind the scenes of live action, it's a different experience. So all right, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you guys want to talk more about this stuff, check out the Discord.
We also got a Patreon too. If you guys want to get earlier access to our videos, you can also go over there and become a member and get the latest and greatest unedited versions. But also, if you're a YouTube member, you also get exclusive early access as well.
Yes, sir.
A lot of early shit.
And all about that. Thank you for being here and watching this video. Until then, we will see you guys next time.
All right, y'all. Much love. Peace.